Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, the market continued to balance within yesterday's range. Yesterday was an outside day, which tells us that the larger time frame seller and buyer were both active in the market, and it also marks indecision. Now, looking at the larger time frame, we can also see that we have a notable high volume node at 1890, and one of the things that I talked about yesterday was how the market was setting up for a directional move away from the 1890 HVN, and that bigger idea is still in play. So heading into the open, our bias continues to be neutral. We have to be open to a directional move to the upside or the downside, depending on how the market sets up in real time. The first area of support is going to be 72 to 75, and below that, 64.5 to 66.5 is going to be important. If the market can hold above initial support, or even hold above 64.5 to 66.5, it would tell us that we're still within yesterday's range, we're still balanced, and there's still potential for buyers to step in. The only time where those zones would not be ideal to trade is if we were seeing a bearish disconnect on the advanced decline and more weakness in the other markets. In that case, we'd have to be cautious at initial support and the support zone below, and perhaps even position ourselves short in anticipation of a breakdown and a directional move lower. Now, in the event of a break below 64.5 to 66.5, we can get continued liquidation, and we can quite easily test the 51 to 53 zone. That's still an area where responsive buyers can defend on first test, but if we're seeing excessive weakness, then even that zone can give way, and a break below 51 to 53 could just further accelerate the downside and bring the lower zones at 40 to 42, 35 quarter, 37 quarter, and potentially 28 to 30 into play, although at that point we would really be exhausting the range potential. On the upside, we have pre-market resistance 82.75 to 84.75. That's a short-term hurdle on the upside. It's not really a major area. And beyond that, we have 88 to 90, which marks the previous VPOC, as well as the key high volume node at 1890. So if we can break out above 88 to 90 and slice through that zone, that would be an indication that the buyers are now gaining more firm control, and from there we can just take out the zones above. And because we're setting up for a directional move, if we are going up on strong momentum and broad market strength, then we're going to want to be careful on fading the resistance zones above as well. So a break above 88 to 90, especially on strong momentum and broad market strength, can really take us up to the recent highs at 1908 to 1910. And then if it is setting up to be more like a trend type environment, we can even go and tag some of those higher zones at 13 to 15 and 19 to 21. So it's just really going to depend on whether we have enough volume in the market to justify a bigger range, whether we have excessive strength or weakness to justify a sustained directional move, whether we have sustained momentum to really justify the sustained directional move. So those are things to look for. If it's a two-sided market, or if the internals are not quite strong or weak, just more neutral, then the market can continue to balance in a range. But it is setting up for a directional move outside of the recent range. If you look at just the last 4 to 5 sessions here, you can see it's very range bound, and we're not going to remain in this range forever. It's just a matter of time before we break out and go directional one way or the other. Overnight, very balanced. The bias heading into the day, quite neutral. Use the initial support to kind of gauge whether the buyers are really continuing to be active. Holding above it would signal that the buyers are continuing to be active. Breakout above 82.75 to 84.75 would be the first signal. That would confirm the buy side being active, and then we'll just take it step by step on the zones above. So those are really the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see which side really takes over today, and we'll take it from there.